From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is a severe weather alert.
There you go.
Well, good evening, everybody. Meteorologist Taylor Plott here alongside Chief Meteorologist Fred Gossage. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for Lauderdale and Colbert counties. This includes the Wright community down towards Lane Springs, Smithsonian, over towards Cloverdale, Central Heights, the northern side of Florence, and even downtown Florence, and down towards the Shoals, Sheffield, Muscle Shoals, and Tuscumbia. Also under this warning, we're watching this cell off to the northwest right now. Let me check my mic. I don't know if it's getting... Can you see if the levels look a little low on it, Fred?
Hold on. We're going to get you to do a mic test. Nope, you're off, so hold on a second. All right, I need to change to... You're set? Okay. Okay.
That's good. Sorry, folks. I saw that my levels were actually being picked up by Fred's mic, but it looks like we are good to go now. There it goes, right there. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning that is for Colbert and Lauderdale counties. It goes until 6:15, right on top of Wright. Right now is exactly where that hail core, that damaging wind potential is. Here's a storm track on this, tracking off towards the southeast. Gravely Springs at 6:09, Rhodesville at 6:14, Oakland at 6:23, Central Heights 6:23, Underwood 6:34, along with Petersville, Jacksonburg 6:37, Sheffield 6:38, Florence also 6:38, Tuscumbia 6:40, Muscle Shoals, St. Florane, and Lakeview at 6:42 to 6:45. That's for that severe thunderstorm tracking in from the northwest. This one's actually tracking southeast. It's more of an eastward mover on this one. And again, we're watching that for the potential for damaging winds and the chance for some large hail. Looks like that last scan had the increase on the hail core here just to the southeast of Wright. This is right along the Tennessee River, but it looks like it should generally stay north of the Tennessee River as the river kind of bends a little bit back down towards the south a little bit. So this will likely go along the river for a little bit, cross the Natchez Trace Parkway right around the Rhodesville area, then impact more Oakland, maybe Smithsonian, and down towards the western side of Florence right now. Looks like we're going to go to our Cherokee camera. Are we looking at let's see what we got on this. There's that base right here. Look at that tail cloud.
You're looking
all the way over here.
You're looking due north up into that right now.
Looking due north up into the storm. It is a supercell, it looks like. You kind of see a little bit of striations going on here. So this would be your base, but notice how it's pretty high off the ground. That's why we're not really expecting much of the way of a tornado risk with this. It's not completely impossible, but it's definitely on the lower end of things. But it is something that we're watching for right now, but I don't see anything that's really screaming tornado, wall cloud, rotation with that right now. Fred, do we want to go over to the Lincoln County storm? Let's go to Lincoln County. We have a severe thunderstorm warning here for Lincoln County. It also includes parts of Moore County. This is just to the northwest of Lynchburg. Look at that hook on that one right there. What does the velocity data look like on that? I know we were looking at it earlier. There's really not a lot of velocity. That's base velocity. There is a little bit of rotation here, so it looks like the reflectivity is meaner than it actually is. But that is something that we'll have to keep a very close eye on. This is riding right along Highway 64 here from the Boones Hill community, and it kind of winds its way back down towards Fayetteville. This will stay north of Fayetteville, and this will take more of a path that will eventually take it across Highway 431 between Howell and Petersburg here. Fred's going to do a storm track on that, moving about 30 miles per hour. Howell at about 617, Belleville about 625, Boonville 635, and Mulberry around 635 as well. If it actually gets that far on the southeastern side, as Mulberry is right there along Highway 50, that takes you all the way up towards Lynchburg. If ever anybody travels up there to go see the Jack Daniels Distillery, that's that highway that runs right through here, Highway 50, that takes your way down towards Fayetteville. But that is a mean-looking supercell, so damaging winds, maybe around 60 miles per hour, and the chance at some quarter-size hail. And we're watching that area rotation. Looks like it's on a boundary, Fred, and that's something that we'll have to watch. We were talking about earlier, that kind of near-storm environment, where if we actually did get a possible brief tornado today, it would be situations like this where it latches onto a boundary or it interacts with a little bit of some low-level shear and kind of a localized area. That's where you would end up getting that tornado potential today if we were to get one. So we're watching that very closely. We did a storm track on that. That will likely stay northeast of Fayetteville. Again, this is for the very far northern part of Lincoln County and the far northwestern part of Moore County here. That is just to the north of Lynchburg. So we'll keep a close eye on that one. Fred, you got anything you want to add? It looks like that we kind of covered those two warnings right there. I'm not seeing anything else that's kind of standing out to me.
Yeah, the earlier severe thunderstorm warning that was up for Giles County has been discontinued. Storm has weakened below severe limits. They've kind of clustered and gusted out as well. We'll go to radar here, full screen, and you can see that where the strong thunderstorm is coming through Pulaski, and then they've kind of gusted themselves out. So Giles County, you were no longer in a severe thunderstorm warning. We earlier had the storms moving through Wayne County, Tennessee. Still some small hail and gusty winds, 30 to 40 miles per hour, maybe some pea to dime size hail here. But this storm is not severe. I will do a storm track on it, though. It's moving into Holly Creek and Fairview in southeast Wayne County now. And then it's going to move across the southern part of Giles County over the next 45 minutes to an hour. We'll do a storm track here for 45 minutes. Fairview at 6:12. So it's almost on you. Same thing for Holly Creek, 6:15. West Point, Tennessee, 6:21. Iron City, 6:26. St. Joe, 6:32. Loretta, 6:34. Leoma, 6:44. Liberty Grove, 6:45. Union Hill, Tennessee, 6:45. 5 Points, 6:52. Revelo, 6:52. And Crossroads coming in at 6:54. So gusty wind, small hail. Other than the storm you talked about over in Lincoln County, Tennessee, Taylor, it looks like the main concern in the core of our viewing area is going to be Lauderdale and Colbert counties in northwest Alabama. You've already hit on that storm, but that's to the east of Wright now, coming into Gravelly Springs. Quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds possible with that storm. That's going to be crossing the Natchez Trace Parkway over the next several minutes, and we'll do another storm track on this one. And then I'll toss it back over to you, and we'll probably wrap up here in just a second. But Gravelly Springs now, Lane Springs now, the Threet area now, Rhodesville 6:16, Central Heights 6:20, Oakland 6:27, Underwood, Petersville about 6:33 to 6:34, Jacksonburg 6:34, St. Florine 6:39, and then the overall shoals, Metro, Florence, Tuscumbia, Sheffield, Muscle Shoals, between 6:43 and 6:52 from northwest to southeast. Again, that's a severe thunderstorm warning there until 7 o'clock for central areas of Lauderdale County and northern areas of Colbert County in northwest Alabama. I'll put you up the watch warning map, and then I'll let you, Taylor, summarize, and we'll go back to regular program.
Yeah, and then real quick, go back into this part
Lincoln
right here.
County.
Yeah, and the Giles County one. But real quick, that severe thunderstorm watch for the Tennessee counties that we have here, that goes until 8. The counties here in northern Alabama, that goes until 10. Here are our 3 severe thunderstorm warnings on the board. This one's out of our viewing area. That's north of Guntersville, moving towards the Scottsboro area. But we have that warning for Lincoln County and also for Lauderdale and Colbert counties. Let's quickly, just for like a brief moment, go back towards reflectivity and go into Giles and Lincoln County. The thing that's got me a little bit concerned about these two is they're riding on a boundary. This one has lost... It still has some rotation, but it's lost the tightness that it had, even though it wasn't extremely tight. It is losing it, but this one has developed along the boundary, and it's starting to hook around and starting to rotate, so that one's going to have to be watched very closely, too. Here's that rotation right along Highway 64. This is just to the east of Boones Hill. Very, very weak rotation, but it is noted, and we definitely need to keep an eye on it. That will be tracking generally further towards the east here. I think it kind of goes outside of that severe thunderstorm warning. So Howell, if you live between Howell and Fayetteville right here along Highway 431, maybe even as close as 231 here on the eastern side of Fayetteville, that's kind of where it's kind of tracking. You get a little bit of a cell merger here. Every now and then that might either kill the storm or it actually increase the rotation on it, just kind of depending on how the storm interacts with it. So we're watching that. And then also this one down here in Giles County. This is right along Highway 31 from Elkton up towards the Aspen Hill area. That's where that little bit of rotation is. So again, like what we talked about, the main issue today is damaging winds and hail. Here's your hail potential. There's right on top of Boones Hill right now. That's your quarter-size hail, maybe slightly larger. And also right on top of 31 here, just between Bunker Hill and Aspen Hill. Damaging winds and large hail are your main concerns today. If we were going to get a brief isolated tornado, it would be along a boundary like what you see here with those two storms in Giles County and Lincoln County. So it's not out of the question, but it's not something that we're overly concerned about. But we are watching things. The Weather Service in Huntsville is monitoring that as well. No tornado warning on the board right now. Just severe thunderstorm warnings here for northern Lincoln and western Moore, and over here in the Shoals for Lauderdale and Colbert counties, with that cell moving in from the northwest towards Florence right now. All right, that's what we got for you update-wise. We'll be back on here. What do you say, Fred? It was about 7, I think is what we're doing. 7 o'clock. We'll do a 7 o'clock update here, but of course we'll be back on here at a moment's notice if we do have any more warnings that are issued. For Chief Meteorologist Fred Gossage, I'm Meteorologist Taylor Plott. Stick with the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. We'll keep you advised.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.